Sayın yolcularımız, poliomiyelit salgını nedeniyle Türkiye'ye girişte Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Sağlık Bakanlığı yetkililerince bir doz oral polio aşısı yapılacaktır. Aşı olma zorunluluğu bulunmamaktadır. Hamile, emziren anneler ve bağışıklık sistemi zayıf olan kişilerin aşı yaptırmadan önce onlara bildirmeye gerekmektedir. Teşekkür ederiz. Ladies and gentlemen, because of the epidemic of polio, the authorities may apply a dose of oral polio vaccine while entering Turkey by the recommendation of Minister of Health. There is no obligation for vaccinating. Pregnant women, nursing mothers,
yolcularımızın pasaport kontrolünden geçmeleri ve son varış noktası gümrüklü bir havalimanı ise bagajlarını almadan, gümrüksüz bir havalimanı ise bagajlarını alarak iç hatlar terminaline gitmeleri, dış hat uçuşlarına devam edecek yolcularımızın transit bankosuna müracaatları rica olunur. İç hatlar gümrüklü ve gümrüksüz havalimanlarının listesini Skylife dergisinde yer alan uçuş bilgileri sayfasında bulabilirsiniz. İlginiz için teşekkür ederiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, all passports are checked at the first port of disembarkation. You are not required to collect your luggage if there is
Tamire de gidip gelmesi yaklaşık 6-7 ay sürecek. İçine giriyor çünkü. O vardı ya iPhone bende. Çin malıydı, enişte almıştı benim Çin'den. Buralarda hiçbir şey yok, onunla alakalı hiçbir şey yok.
Var.
Yok. O telefon öyle Çin malı değil ya. Windows bunlar. Windows 6.1. Yani PPC. Pocket PC. El PC.
beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was. Beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was.
People building of Silivri. It was in Silivri. So it was a printing house. They used to print money.
We're going to go to the second court, the third courtyard up to here. I'll point out exactly again what exhibitions we have over there, and I'm going to be free time. So you will be choosing the
Sultans. There are sultans which became sultan at the age of 8 years old, 14 years old. So they don't have the ability just to give some decisions by then. So the mother and the grand vizier was the prime minister. Those are the ones which used to give the decisions for the behalf of the sultan till to a certain time, of course. When they get trained and so on, and they just get ready for it, they do give their own decisions no matter what. Power is always in the hand of the sultan. When you were coming in, you have seen it like a seal or the gate. That is the seal of the sultan, that medallion design. All the Ottoman sultans has their own seals. They look the same, but there's slightly differences between each other. So,
hier ist unser Hotel. Da drüben, das Grüne, das ist die Brücke. Links neben dran ist eine helle Brücke geworden, das links neben dran, das ist unser Hotel. Und da drüben ist der Dormer Badpalast, das ist ja die ganze Strecke gegangen. Der ist gerade hinter dem, wo jetzt das Schiff fährt, links von dem Baum, da hinten dran. Da war auch dann die Bushaltestelle, die Tramhaltestelle, und jetzt halt komplett die Strecke dahin. Unser Frühstück gestern war, wo unter der Brücke die kleine Moschee ist, und unser Frühstück heute war hinter der Brücke.
Beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was. A beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was.
Şöyle aç, şalteri aç. Açıyor.
Hala iyi konuşmuyorum da ama.
When you look at the dome, you're going to see like they have ribs. And underneath, between each rib, they have windows that is opened. The structure didn't have a dome when they first built it. It had a roof. Later on, they just decided to build a dome. So, as this kind of a height and this kind of a huge size of dome, the body of the structure is having a problem of carrying it. That's why those windows and rib system has been used into it, which they had to build a supporting wall from outside of the air. They have built supporting walls from outside. Even 99, when we had the last earthquake, the biggest earthquake happened 11 years ago, we made some measurements inside of St. Sophia. The body of the whole structure has moved a couple inches. In certain levels, there is, when you look at the ground, it leans. There's a pressure of the building from the top has to just crack, just made a ramp actually over the floor itself. It's a great architectural engineering that you see over here, early Byzantine architecture. The architect is called Isidorus, who came from all the way from Miletus, from the southern part of Turkey, west south of Turkey. Miletus, southern part of Ephesus, known with the famous with the engineers and architects who came.
Beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was.
please. Continue, please. Closing time, quickly. Quickly, please. Open the way, quickly. Closing time, quickly.
First we walk through the court building. That is the last prayer area. When the walk like when it's fully shut, the youth train comes to the park. When you look about the mosque, the historical wise, during the local they study 4 million. The difference for this mosque is 6 million.
Oh, very nice.
Very good. Did you find? Alright, where we are right now? We are in the Matis, which is our company name, which is 47 years old company. Let me, alright, somebody's coming. This way, please. Producer of handmade carpets. We do have 5,000 trucks in this building. We have 7,000 looms all over Turkey, which is, we all produce those. I'm gonna order you apple tea, which is part of the Turkish tradition. I don't know, have you tried the apple tea before? No. No? Okay, so if you don't have any problem with the apple, it's apple cider, there's no alcohol or something like that, so you can enjoy with that. In Turkish handmade rugs, we have a technique of Turkish double knot technique, which is, you can see in here, it's a chart in here. You see the red threads on the top of it. What we call that the Turkish knot, double knot technique. The single knot is the other Oriental countries, they use it. We don't call the Turkish knot technique as an Oriental knot technique. This is the Oriental technique. Persian, Pakistani, Indian, Chinese, they use this technique. This is a double knot technique, only we use it in Turkey. What's the difference? This is a double knot, it makes the rug much stronger. You use more material, and it takes much more time to make the rugs. What we have in here, all of them handmade rugs. We don't have anything machine-made rugs, because in Turkey, which is our tradition, which is our culture, the making of Turkish handmade rugs. So, what you see in here, these are the white parts, which is the vertical lines, which is holding the loom part, which is the skeleton of the rug. And these are the threads they use in the material. We have three materials in handmade rugs: wool, cotton, and silk material. So, those are the wool on wool category. Wool on wool means, what I show it in the chart that to you, the skeleton is wool, and the knotted part is also wool. This one in here comes from east part of Turkey, mountain Ararat area. You know where it's the mountain Ararat? Between Armenian border and the Turkish border. And what people believe the Noah's Ark in there. So this is a 100% wool material. This one comes from the Kazakhstan. So this is a very nice quality wool rug also. This one in here, 250 double knots on square inch. What is 250 double knots? When we make the rugs, some of the rugs are finer than the others. For example, we have camera, everybody. Somebody has 6 pixel, somebody has 10 pixel. When it is a better pixel in your camera, you have a better picture. When you have more knots in your square inch, it's a better rug, better resolution, like that. It's the same thing in that way. This one in here, Central of Turkey, which is also the 100% wool. And what they use it in those, all vegetable dye, all chemical dyes. What are these the chemical dyes? Chemical dye means, in handmade rug we don't use it that. So neutral dye they use it. For example, in this one they use the pomegranate roots. They use the indigo roots. That's the meaning. They use it in a different way. This one in here, what we call that milas, which comes from the west part of Turkey. Tobacco colors they use it because they do have so many tobacco plants in that. These 4 sizes are 7 by. This is around 300 years old design. This design in here, 150 years old design. We do have all the, for example, this design on the wall with the floral design. They started 1853 to make that rugs. So since that, they make the same design. They are not allowed to change the design also. So that's the way it works out. Those are some runners in the same category, wool on wool category. Seccade açmadın abi. Namaz ya. Bir tane aç namazlık. And this one is a wool on wool rug. Do you know what is this one? I don't know. You know that the Muslim people, when they pray, they use it that kind of rug. It's a praying rug. And they turn the rug this direction towards to Mecca. So that's the reason they use that kind of rocks. Actually, the good Muslims, they do that. You know, I would like to get to know where are you all coming from? Starting from you, sir. Canada. Bahamas, all right. Brazil. Oh my God, we do it all over the world. Norway. Japan. Texas. No, I mean, which city in Texas? San Antonio, all right. Brazil, all right. It's very easy. Let me explain it that to you. This is what we call that Holbein design. Have you heard about Holbein, famous painter? No? Holbein, who lived in the 16th century, and he used in his paintings that kind of designs. This one in here, what we call that the Topkapi collection. Have you ever been in Topkapi collection? Not yet? Are you gonna go? Today?
We've been there.
Yes.
You've been there? Alright. Have you seen that kind of rocks, huge sizes? Is there?
Silk.
Silk? Silk? Thank you for saying silk. Unfortunately, this is not silk. But many places in the world, they sell it as a silk, they charge it as a silk, and it's a bad news. You think it's a silk rock, but it's not. This is 100% cotton rock, silk rock. This silk rock is around 6 by 9 size. And this one takes around 3.5 years to make it that one to 2 ladies works that. 650 double knots on square inch. And it comes from the Hagia region, which is they used to make only for sultans. But everybody is here today, sultan, sultana, so you are gonna enjoy with this rock. This one is a pure silk rock. I need to hear some ohs. Oh, that's a beautiful rock. I mean, you don't see that kind of nice rock every day. I'm gonna rotate the rock. Çekil abi. I'll show you the smaller ones also to you. Did you see the color changes in that one? That's again medallion design, they use it, so it's the finest rock you will ever see that. 650 double knots on square inch. I will show you the smaller ones in the same category, in the silk on silk category. What you see here.
Beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was. beautiful day. Once it ends, nothing remains the way it was.
Versus causation. In view of time, I'll just have to jump ahead and say the only way you can learn about causation is to look at how your actions change things over time. You really need time series modeling if you want to learn about causation, if you want to learn about policy. And that's what a time-lag recurrent network gives you. The economic crunch of 2008 was actually partly due to bad data mining. These mistakes people are making in prediction, these are not just an intellectual problem. This casual and sloppy approach to the prediction problem is hurting millions of people today. One of the causes of the great collapse of 2008 was a faulty assessment of mortgage default rates. And I recently heard from the company FICO, which produces those mortgage assessments. In the old days, they used a neural network, which was a valid estimator of the probability of default. But because it was fashionable, they shifted to using support vector machines, which do not produce a probability. They aggregated it as if it was a probability, and it vastly underestimated the probability of default. This was one of the key things that unnerved the whole world.
How the neural network can solve in practice for power system.
If you have a network memory, how much more powerful would that be? And communication Communication to me is a big part of intelligence, and when you think of how humans communicate compared to technology, it is so poor, it's embarrassing. How can we say AI can't do this and can't do that when we communicate in such a pathetic way as humans? We have highly complex electrochemical signals in our brains. When we communicate, what do? We convert those complex signals to trivial coded mechanical pressure waves. That's serial signals. This is what we're doing. And we heard earlier, there are good acoustics in this auditorium. Pardon? We have difficulties communicating. People's ears pick up those mechanical signals and convert them back to electrochemical. And if you've been married for 50 years, you still have problems. What is it you're trying to say to your husband or wife? Why not send signals electrically, brain to brain, zoom, in parallel? The possibility of communicating as computers do in terms of images, graphics, concepts, ideas, memories. Really, we can communicate in a much, much better way if we enhance, if we take on board some of the advantages of artificial intelligence. This is Campbell Aird, who lost his arm